Okay, I'm sorry. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome everyone to South Bend Community School Corporation Board of Trustee meeting. Today is July the 9th, 5:33. We are now calling the School Board Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Good afternoon. Mr. Marcus Ellison,
Present.
Mr. Mark Costello,
Here.
Ms. Kate Lee,
Here.
Dr. Sturt Green,
Here.
Mr. Carlos Leyva,
Here.
Mr. Bill Snedecke,
Here.
Dr. Jeanette McCullough.
Present. We have a quorum. We can now move to the adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees adopt the agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Lee, second by Dr. Green. Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison,
Aye.
Mr. Costello,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Dr. Green,
Aye.
Mr. Leyva,
Aye.
Mr. Snedecke,
Aye.
Dr. McCullough.
Aye. The vote to adopt the agenda passes unanimously. 7 votes in favor to adopt the agenda. We now move to Superintendent recognitions and announcements.
Good evening, Dr. McCullough, School Board of Trustees, members of the public. Brian Dolan from SSC had a special gift for the board. However, he had to cancel last minute. So the only superintendent's announcement that I have is a reminder of the summer school graduation on August the 7th. That's a Thursday, August 7th, 2025, at 6 p.m. at John Adams High School. That's all.
Thank
for
you.
the announcement.
We now have the opportunity to hear from visitors under action items 9.01, 9.02, 9.03, 9.04, 9.05, 9.06, 9.07, 9.08. At regular meetings, the public is invited to address the board for 3 minutes regarding action agenda items. Visitors wishing to address the board on action agenda items must sign the registration sheet prior to the meeting and state the action agenda item which they will address. Individuals may only speak once during this section of the agenda. Speakers shall properly identify themselves after they approach the podium by stating their name and address for the record. Personnel issues are not to be addressed during open sessions of the school board. The board president may interrupt, warn, or terminate a person's statement if the statement becomes personally directed or abusive or obscene. Secretary Leva, has anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, action item 9.01, approve resolution to continue the use and repurposing Clay High School. John Pachewski.
As a citizen of Clay Township, I'm repeatedly asked what's happening with the building, and I assume that no real decision has been made, but I would hope that during or prior to the vote, something can be said that it's still in the hands of the state, they're still looking at it, or if a decision has been made. Also, I have been asked that if at a future meeting, the tennis courts at Clay could be addressed to exactly why public courts were given to the University of Notre Dame. Under the prior administration, there was asked for a contract. It was never provided. They're locked constantly. They're not in public use. And the taxpayers paid for that, and people want to know why Notre Dame gets to use it. Thank you.
That's it? When that comes up, 9.01.
I can address it.
Okay, thank you.
When it comes to a vote
Yeah.
and discussion.
Yeah, okay. We now move to hearing of visitors on other items. We now have the opportunity to hear from visitors on other items. At regular meetings, the public is invited to address the board for 3 minutes regarding items not posted on the agenda. Individuals may only speak once during this section of the agenda. Speakers shall properly identify themselves after they approach the podium by stating their name and address for the record. Personnel issues are not to be addressed during open sessions of the school board. The board president may interrupt, warn, or terminate a person's statement if the statement becomes personally directed, abusive, or obscene. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Is there anyone wishing to speak?
For Ms. King?
This is it.
6? Yes? Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Fine.
My name is Edwina Catchings. My address is 225 North Taylor Street, South Bend, Indiana, 46601. And this is to all the board members as well as staff members. I'm writing to express my deep appreciation for Ms. LaToya King, our Director of School Transportation, and to strongly advocate for her to continue her service in this vital role. Her dedication, compassion, and exceptional organizational skills have made an immeasurable difference in our lives of students, staff, bus drivers, and especially paraprofessionals across our district. Ms. LaToya King has constantly gone above and beyond the expectations of her position. She understands that the transportation is more than just buses and routes. It is about safety, inclusion, and ensuring that every child and staff member begins and ends their day with dignity and care. Her leadership has made our transportation system one that runs not just efficiently, but effectively, but with heart. And as a paraprofessional driver, and I can personally attest to how deeply she values and supports us here at base. She listens when we express concerns, promptly addresses scheduling and routing issues, and works tirelessly to ensure that we are treated with respect and dignity. When it is ensuring that students with special needs receive appropriate accommodations, or make sure us paras and drivers have a voice in how routes are developed, she also shows empathy and follow through. With her calm demeanor and genuine concern for our well-being, she creates a sense of trust that is rare and deeply appreciated. Many of us paras and drivers feel seen and supported because of her. She takes the time to get to know us, not just employees, but as people. When problems arise, Ms. King's approach them with a fairness and collaborative spirit. Her work has helped to build a culture of respect between the drivers and paras, students and families alike.
30 seconds.
To lose Ms. King would definitely be a loss of a very skilled administrator, but someone whose heart is fully invested in well-being of our community and our schools. Please consider this positive impact has had and continue to have every single day. She is not just good at her job, she is essential into the caring and effective operation of our school system. Blessings to you all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Angela Harris. I'm a para at Transportation. I have been a para since 2017. I have worked under the leadership of Mrs. King. Mrs. King is more than just my boss. She is also a friend. She takes this job home. She's willing to talk to you. I'm sorry. She takes this job home. She talks early in the morning and late at night. She shows more than just cares for the children, she cares for her team. It would be such a great loss to lose such a valuable person as Ms. King. She is also willing and also lets us know that it's very important to get the children to school on time. I was also known as a hothead around base, but under the leadership of Mrs. King, I have toned down a lot. She is she will be well missed if you do not keep such a very, very valuable asset at Transportation. The paras love Mrs. King. She is needed out there. I can't stress that enough. She loves what she does. She's great at what she does. Please, please, please keep Mrs. King on at transportation. I can't say that enough.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Manny Vila, Assistant Director for the Transportation Department. Good evening, Dr. McCullough, members of the board, Superintendent Eid, and ladies and gentlemen. In the short time that I've been in the Transportation Department, I have witnessed firsthand the leadership and the dedication of LaToya King, as some of our colleagues had just mentioned. She has consistently demonstrated strong communication, sound decision-making, effective problem-solving, and also remarkable adaptability. Beyond her professional capabilities, LaToya has always brought discernment, kindness, passion, and fearless, forthright approach to her leadership. Her energy, her commitment to the transportation team has always been evident to all of us in every sense. So we, of course, understand the importance of fostering a healthy, structured work environment built on accountability and built on discipline. And LaToya has led by example, creating not only a stronger department, but also contributing to a positive ripple effect across the district. Ultimately, her leadership has helped to ensure that we are doing our part to support the success and the well-being of our employees, which in turn will benefit and continue benefiting our students. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, my name is Jim Ruth, and I live in South Bend, and I'm a bus driver. I just want you to know that Mrs. King has always had her finger on the pulse of transportation, many times in ways unbeknownst to most of you. And that's not meant to be critical, it's just part of her job, and she does it well. And so when Mrs. King has to make calls to parents to comfort them who are worried because of incidents on the bus, she does it, and she's able to convey that everything is going to be okay. She just has that peace about her that really we all enjoy. Now, she may have to turn right around again and have a tough conversation with a mom whose daughter or son just started a fight or thought it would be in their best interest to pick on a first grader. Do we as bus drivers have to make those calls to parents as well? We do. And of course, we have to have those conversations with the ability to make that situation not be as difficult as it is. When we have those conversations, and after the conversations, what we do is we'll go into a place where it's quiet, we talk, and we discuss how we did that conversation with the parents. And so those are not things that we take as a difficult thing or an obstacle in our day. Those are opportunities to let parents and staff get to know LaToya and her drivers and all that we care about every child. You see, as important as it is to confer with parents, the most important part of our job that we do is to look after our students on board our buses. Mrs. King reminds us as drivers that we need to be aware of our surroundings, check our mirrors, watch out for others who may not be watching out for us as we get our students to and from school. Let me answer a question we hear now and then. Yes, one of our goals is to get our students to school on time, but we are a safety-first corporation. It's very easy to get behind on our schedules. Long stoplights, slow cars, inclement weather, or just heavy traffic due to the time of day can ruin our schedules. Our buses aren't made for quick anything. And I say all that because late buses aren't fun, but it takes a patient leader to restore the calm in a bus driver and his or her students who know they're going to be late to school.
30 seconds.
So I just wanted to let you know that it isn't always the things that are seen that make a leader great. It's the unseen. You see, LaToya really cares. We all do at transportation, in part because LaToya has taken care to instill it in us and also in her immediate leadership team, Manny, Alfie, and David, as well as Ken and Patrick in the mechanics garage. And we really are a team. Thank you.
I'm Andre King, no relations to Miss LaToya King. When you talk about LaToya, you're talking about a leader, a communicator, a person that leaves her door open, and at any given time, you can come in and talk to her. I've been with the corporation 9 years, going on 10. I was security guard for 9 years and a bus driver for 1 year. I don't have anything scripted. I went off the dome. When I left Adams, she gave me the opportunity to do both at the same time. So then, because she knew how much I cared about the kids, and she knew that if I could do it, I was willing when I talked to her. And she gave me opportunity, and I did it. And I appreciate her so much, because not everybody gets that opportunity to do both. She had a hard job, and it seems like she was the firefighter and she was the driver, and she had a lot of fires to put out, and she just ran out of the water and she wasn't getting no support. She's sitting on top of the umbrella and she's looking down and she's seeing it's I can't lie to you. It's a lot of cancers within that needs to find something else to do, so then we can put the people that's in and do the job correctly and efficiently. That's all I gotta say, and appreciate y'all time.
Good evening. My name is Chantel Thomas. I met Miss King just on the street, and she was like, "You look like a good person to work for my corporation." And I was like, "I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna come over there." She's like, "You gotta come over there." She kept calling me. And getting your CDLs is not easy. It's kind of hard. So I kept trying to tell her, like, "I don't think I could do this, Miss King." She like, "You got it. You can do it." So the lady, she deserved this job. She's a brave lady. She's a lady of God. Anything you need, you could come and talk to her. She'd give you the shirt off her back. And I only been there for 3 months, but it seemed like I've been there for about a year, because the love and the generosity that she give, you can just cling on to her. So I just want to tell you, Leadership Board, South Bend Board, please don't take our love away.
Graylin Watson. I pastor Jesus Emmanuel Church. I've been LaToya's pastor 24 years, been in her life about 28 years. I watched her go back to school. I watched her get her degrees. I watched her climb the ladder to where she is now, you know. And so no matter what y'all do here, God got her covered. But one thing I want you to know, I watched her come in. I watched her give Christmas parties out of her own pocket because the school wouldn't fund them. I watched her bring people together, as you see now. But I just want to leave you with one thing. You'll reap what you sow.
Good evening, South Bend School Board. My name is Alfie Betts Sr. I am the Transportation Safety Supervisor there at the Transportation VMF office. I have been working as long as many of ones here have, but for the short tenure that I've been here, I can truly tell you that I am impressed. And it's not hard to be impressed by a woman. If you were raised by a good mother and she taught you the very basics of life, she was patient with you, but then also firm when needed. Well, I'm not saying LaToya is my mom, but there are so many where she comes across that way. And what impresses me most is that, as Jim mentioned earlier, she does have her finger on the pulse. She knows what's going on. And what she doesn't know, she finds out. And it's been said that you can tell the essence or the fiber of a person when tragedy or emergency occurs. Well, I saw that for myself. Many of you might have remembered the accident on Bendix. It was a head-on collision. LaToya was the first one on site. As soon as I heard of it, I got there, and she was standing there with the police, the emergency vehicles. Everyone was there. And as I walked up, I said, "Go ahead, LaToya, check on the drivers. I'll take over." Manny and myself were all there, and the first thing she did after we started doing the day-to-day things, she checked on the people. She checked on the driver. She looked over and made sure the one that was in the accident was okay. And she cared. So all I kept thinking for myself, she's not just about the business, because she is about the business, but she has a heart. So just to let you know, many people said a lot of wonderful things about her. And everyone did not agree with LaToya. There was times that people disagreed with her. But what I appreciated the
30
most
seconds.
about her as a leader, never was she disagreeable.
Good evening, everyone here. Thank you for letting us speak. I haven't been here for very long. My name is David Tart. I'm the Transportation Training Coordinator, and I don't want to say anything negative. I only want to say something positive. I just want to express to Miss LaToya my appreciation for her. I want to thank her for being kind. I want to thank her for being approachable, for being a good listener, for supporting our efforts to do the best job that we can do, for believing in us, for projecting positivity even when we felt like we couldn't do as much as we had on our plate. We appreciate all those qualities that you shared with us, Ms. LaToya. We live in a world where people of color and women have been judged and put down for years, and yet she's risen to attain this status that she has today. That attests to her character. So I say thank you. Thank you, Ms. LaToya. Thank you for letting me speak.
Good evening. My name is Aisha Tobar. I've been a bus driver for almost a year. Ms. King is not the boss we get every day. She's an amazing, strong, caring, and loving person. It would be a loss to this department to lose her. She does her job very well and makes sure the kids, drivers, and paras get to these schools safely, there and back. She doesn't just care about her job, she actually cares about her employees. You don't get that on a daily basis. You don't get that at any other job. She's always on top of things and make sure she get things done that we're asking and telling her. It definitely would be a loss to lose her. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alexis Jones. I'm also a bus driver at Transportation. I wasn't always a driver. I used to be a paraprofessional, and with the help of Ms. King and my fellow coworkers, she helped me to want to do more, so I became a driver. And I, as well as a lot of my coworkers, also have a lot of respect for Ms. King's leadership. She always shows up. She cares. She's tough enough for this job. She's compassionate. She's fair. She has made transportation a better place. She works hard for all of us. She also motivates us to do better as a whole. And without her, a big part of this corporation will be empty. There is no one I see would do a better job, be a better director. She is most definitely the heart of this team between transportation. And come August, at that meeting, it won't be the same without her. So I want to say thank you, Ms. King, for all your service and your hard work. And we couldn't ask for a better director.
Good evening. Andrew Campbell, 62430 Locust Road, Lot 100. As you can see by my shirt, I am one of Mrs. King's drivers. On August 24th, or 29th even, 2024, I had a life-changing event. I received an emergency call after I was en route to Kennedy to go pick up my elementary students. Well, turns out that emergency call was the death of my mother. As you can see behind me, many of my fellow coworkers are here in support of Mrs. King. I can tell you, Mrs. King is the only employer who has offered anything I might need in the wake of my life-changing event that happened in 2024. I've been working since I was 16 years old, and no other boss has ever called me up personally on personal time to see if I was going to be fit for duty when I said I was going to return to work. If that doesn't spell somebody who cares about her employees as people, I don't know what does. Thank you.
Good evening, Nancy Halterman. I live at 5633 Osage Lake Drive, Apartment 1B in Mishawaka, 46545. I don't have anything written down. I probably should have because there's so many things to say about LaToya King. I first started at Madison School where I didn't know LaToya. I ended up having some phone conversations with her, had some questions about transportation, and then probably a year later or so, she came in the office, so I got to meet her. Instantly likable person, loving spirit, I could tell right away. Down the line there, I asked her if there was openings at transportation, and she took me on. I would not be the person I am there without her. I think I'd feel lost without her. She does an incredible job. Like everyone says, she has heart. And when I was back at Madison, I didn't understand things at transportation. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? But I know she was always on the ball, taking care of things. Then when I started working at transportation, then I saw the things, her things she had to work on with people to make them better, to make it better, and she has. And when I was even at Madison School, we talked to one another and say how much it's changed for the better, what she's done already. She's just a great person. She loves her job with all of her heart. She doesn't want to leave. I can't imagine, since it's gotten so much better and we have such a good team, that it'd be broken apart. I just don't understand that. It's just getting good. Everybody won't agree with her, but she is all about the job, the students, the employees, everybody. Please just don't take her away from transportation. She's such an asset. You have no idea if you're not there and see her every day. Please don't take her away from us. We're a family.
Hi, I'm I'm Laurie McGowan, 2007 East Madison Street. I'm going to talk about something completely different. So if anybody wants to talk about Mrs. King, please, cut in front of me. Okay. Yeah?
No, go
Keep
ahead.
going? Okay. All right, okay. I just wanted, I know it's getting the cart before the horse a little bit, but this is just the way it works with the schedule here. I want to talk about that strategic plan that you have posted and the presentation to come. And I hope that that's an invitation for community input. To me, I was kind of disappointed to see that. It looks like a lot of stuff that you're already doing, your day-to-day activities. And I didn't see, except from finance people, really any key performance indicators. I don't see measurable objectives. So I hope all those things end up in this plan at some point in time. Specifically, though, I want to talk about the line on alternative school. I want to quote from a 2024 article in School Psychology Review. The National Association of School Psychologists specifically called for an end to disciplinary practices that disproportionately affect groups of students and explicitly stated that school disciplinary practices should focus on school climate and utilize practices that keep students in schools. So I think that really tracks a lot with the recent DOJ stipulations in recent years. And our district has not complied with those stipulations. In their most recent report to the Department of Justice, this district reported Black students continue to be more likely to experience higher rates of exclusionary consequences than their non-Black student subgroups. So I would say I would really like to see your direction focused on fixing that first before you talk about alternative school. And the other thing is, I see a lot of people with advanced degrees here, and so I would challenge you to do your own research about learning outcomes from alternative schools and not rely just on white papers from the vendors who may supply the online
seconds.
curriculum. So that's it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Frausto, and I am a router in transportation. I've been working in the whole corporation for 14, 15 years. I'm here to talk in behalf of Ms. Latoya King. One of the things I want you to know, I started working as a para, and I like all kind of jobs. So I was working, then Ms. Latoya saw my potential. Then she says that I like because you are so good working with kids, and I want you to be more directly with people, parents. So she asked me to work with the call center. So I started working for the call center, and she was supervisor on the time. Once that she saw me working with the call center, I did my CDL. I'm a driver too. I did my CDL because I was support for everybody, all these drivers. And when I had my CDL, the very first thing, the other director, Juan, asked me to work upstairs as a router. I really, really didn't have experience. I really appreciate all the help I got from everybody. But what I wanted to say is Ms. Latoya gave me the huge support. I was really, really thankful for her that she is our director, because she let us grow. She doesn't, she's never pushing you down or taking you out if you have a mistake. And she's working one-on-one. And I've been working with her until late night or over the phone. And also these drivers, they need anything they need, like days off or they are something important that they need to do, she's always willing to do it. So that is a supportive director that you will not find nowhere. And I don't find the reason why you guys want her to take away, because I'm pretty sure this is the only director that I can see. And thank you so much for your time.
Good evening. My name is Kaze McCall, 833 South 30th Street. I'm a local organizer, and before I speak about Ms. King, I want to tell you a little story. So, the pastor of my church in Chicago, where I was born, she was sitting at a bus stop, and she was eating this orange, and she's just peeling an orange. She was eating an orange, and she was like, this is so good, this is so good. And she's eating this orange, and she's like, oh my God, this is so good. And there was this atheist sitting next to her he saw her wearing a cross, and she carried a white Bible, and so he was like, God doesn't exist because this, that, and the other. What do you have to say? And so she just kept peeling the orange, and she is eating orange, and he said, well, prove it. If he was this, he would have done this, and she just kept peeling the orange. And she said, wow, this orange is so good. And he, in his frustration for her not answering any questions, says, well, how do I know it's good? I haven't tasted it. And she said, that's exactly my point. Until you taste the goodness of Jesus, you'll never know how good he is. And that is what I want to say about Ms. King. Until you experience what she does, what she means to people, you will never know how valuable she is. I just found out about this at about 4 o'clock. As an organizer, it would have been easy for me to get about 500 to 1,000 people here if I had known about this a week prior. So I just want to let you know that the testimonies that you hear here be multiplied 100 times. And I don't know the particulars of the situation. All I know is I know who she is. I know what she stands for. I know what her kids, who her kids are and what they are and become. And so I'll say, until you taste, until you see, and you get a little experience from all of these testimonies of what you have in her, you'll never know how valuable she is. Thank you.
I guess I'm going to wrap it up. My name is Tammy Akoff, and I've been with South Bend Schools for 3 years. I was there in 2016. I left, and then I came back. And it was LaToya who really was like, you need to come back, come on back. Because I was a hairstylist for 25 years and had to stop doing that. But anyway, LaToya is a sister in Christ with me. We go to the same church. And anybody who knows LaToya should know that she is a praying woman. And her prayers, I believe, be heard. She prays, I know she prays for everybody in here. That's why we had the turnout that we have. Some people not here, and those are the ones I wouldn't say they're not here for such and such a reason, but who's here is supposed to be here because we're backing this woman of God. I love LaToya, and everybody here loves LaToya, and I pray with my sister that you guys keep her on because she has made a difference in transportation. She makes a difference. She has made a difference in everybody's lives. So that's all I have to say, and I just pray that you guys really think about keeping her on. She needs to stay on.
Hi, my name is Donna Hernandez. I am a dispatcher in transportation, and I am representing the other dispatchers, Tamika Minnis Robinson, thank you, and Jermel Jones. I'm Donna Hernandez, 1145 Ebling. Sorry, I just ran in here. I just got off work. I come in front of you, to express our concerns regarding the potential termination of LaToya King as Director of Transportation. LaToya's dedication for the last 4 years, and valuable contributions in her position warrant a careful consideration. In her role, LaToya has always encouraged growth within ourselves and as a team. She personally had talks with me encouraging motivating, and challenging me to be my very best. She celebrates our achievements and has given feedback on how we can improve or make changes for the betterment of the team. In times when attendance of our drivers or office staff were great, LaToya has led by example and has driven South Bend students home. She has helped in dispatch, routing, as well as the phones. The goal of all of us in transportation is to provide a safe way to and from home to the South Bend students. We do this respectfully, with integrity, professionally, with pride and kindness. And I hope we all agree that that is in part because of LaToya King. Thank you.
Lynn King Jr., South Bend, Indiana, 46601. I stand before you today thankful for your leadership and all your hard work. Congratulations, Dr. McCullough. Appreciate all your efforts, all of you board members. I'm here today as a proud husband and father, pastor in this community. And South Bend Community School Corporation has been awesome to me and my family. We have 4 children, 3 of which graduated from South Bend schools. 2 went on to college, graduated from Purdue, Bloomington, and then our 3rd son, he just graduated from Franklin College. So South Bend Community School Corporation is a great success. And so I applaud this board for some of your past decisions that you've made, taking a deep dive into the budget, and as well as even the removal of the former superintendent, because it was necessary for this corporation. However, on behalf of LaToya King, her leadership has been stellar. WSBT reported in 2023 that this corporation, the transportation department, went from a 65% on-time rate to a 95% on-time rate. Principals and other administrators can attest to this. If you do a deep dive into it, you will see the facts, not the rhetoric, not the false narratives that's out there. But if you look at the numbers, you'll see the stellar performance that LaToya has done. The news also reported, ABC 57, Channel 16, there was a nationwide shortage of bus drivers. However, this district right here did not have a shortage of bus drivers. We were the only district that had a surplus of drivers, sub-drivers, waiting in case another driver called off to be Johnny on the spot to make sure our children got to school on time. That is because of relationship and stellar leadership, not the false negative narrative that a group of small individuals
30 seconds.
paint. I encourage this board to take a good look at what's going on. Part of being great leaders is realizing when you've made a mistake. This is a mistake for this community. School is starting in 3 weeks. To remove the current director 3 weeks prior to school start, and you're just changing the system to a 2-tier system to hollow the department and create this chaos, I don't think it's good leadership. But you've proven in the past, and I have great confidence that you will make the right decision. You're a great board. I'm praying for you daily. Thank you.
Good evening, Alita Jones, 1319 East Victoria Street. I would like to join the chorus of visitors who spoke on behalf of Ms. LaToya King. You will not find a more efficient, professional person to fill that position. And she does not understand, probably doesn't know how strongly I advocated for her to get that position when I was on the board. So I hope whatever you're considering, you do not remove her from that position. I also this evening want to talk about your strategic plan. And some of my comments might be in relation to what we're discussing here with her position. I don't know, but it could be. Your preliminary plan, which means you're starting to gather information for the actual plan, which is good. On your mission statement, which is taken from the strategic plan in 2020. However, the 2020 plan was much more comprehensive and set a specific tone. Your mission statement reads, "Together with our community, we promote equity, inclusion, and justice." Well, if justice is something that you're promoting, in this plan, we need to see real specifics and explanations on how you intend to accomplish it. And I ask you a question. How does this collaborate with the stipulations ordered by the court last year? How is the corporation complying with the court-ordered student code of conduct that the board voted for last year? Do you realize that if you comply with just these two documents would be a start to ensuring that the corporation will honor what you have on this paper? And actually, when you stop to think about it, by you not complying with these orders, you're breaking the law. Does that sound familiar? At the national level, breaking the law. I don't care what the court says. I'm going to do what I want to do. This plan should also include the disparities, and I like the word discrimination better because it really tells a story. This plan should include
30 seconds.
the disparities in academics, special education. This plan should include how every parent is informed about the many options available in this district. And if you remember, the corporation in the beginning had to get authorization from the court to establish the academies and the programs that serve the elite. So if you would concentrate on providing the same opportunity for every child.
Thank you.
Instead of categorizing them.
Thank you.
It will go a long way.
Thank you.
To achieving equity across the board. Thank you. Don't you touch me. Okay, yeah.
All right, y'all. Give her a round. Yes, I'm so sorry. I did have her back. I apologize. I should not have touched her. I should have known better. Good evening, Tiana Batiste Waddell, 330 Colfax Avenue, South Bend, Indiana. The Jacks Aspire Foundation, Save the Youth Michiana campaign, and several additional citizens continue to demand the following. Fire Todd. He is receiving that 200+K payout currently, right? And if I'm wrong, can you please clarify that for me in the community? I'm tired of talking about it. Due to the recent revealing of information at the June board meeting, remove Ruth Warren from the St. Joe County Library Board for failure to properly be seated by the South Bend Community School former board president. Find a new board representative to stand for equity. It is a farce that the current person that is this board's face for equity doesn't practice it. Moral leaders exhibit the following qualities: serves others, manifests honesty, is transparent, safe workplace for all, leads by example, shows justice, respects others, builds community. Thank you, Mr. Eid and your team, for releasing a strategic plan. Every minute counts. You're starting somewhere. My hopes are this: the plan brings continuous and sustainable improvement to the district because the children deserve a quality education every single day. I hope that your board president follows the plan when it comes to communication, because the last time I received a response from her was on April 1st when she stated the following, quote, "I also agree 100%. We need to come together. As we all know, the consent decree will eventually be gone according to the federal government's plan. Sometime this month, April, I will schedule a date and time for a working session to discuss a plan of action," unquote. Haven't received a response from the last 10 emails I've sent. Thank you, Costello and Snidecki, for always getting back to me, but it is the duty of the board president to address the community as well, and I'm a parent. I hope you build trust back because many citizens feel that transparency is lacking with the recent job hires. And most important, for the sake of the Black youth and their peers and the city of South Bend, I hope you dismantle the worsening poor schooling culture that has plagued this district for generations. And then the final thing, and you haven't said 30 seconds yet.
30 seconds.
Okay, cool. So I do have to say this from a parent's perspective. As an employee parent, as an ex-employee parent, LaToya King, when I emailed her, she always had my family's back. And I will never forget when I was going through it as an ex-employee and I left LaSalle and I came out crying because I was traumatized of what this district did to me. You looked at me and said, and I'm a Buddhist, God's got my back. God's got my back. Thank you.
John Pachesny, 18420 Crown Hill Drive. So here I stand tonight, about 6 weeks until the start of a new school year and 6 months into a new board. I would have hoped by now that this board would have built a better consensus for the betterment of the corporation, but it appears to me and many people in the community is just as polarized as previous boards. I cannot wrap my mind around why there are so many personal agendas and not focusing on the students, the staff, and the education and the equity. When was the last time I heard this board discuss children's education? I can't answer that. Yes, we have many issues. Yes, we have many problems. I've been sitting here for almost 4 years. I've heard my litany of them. But is there anything wrong with starting to let go of the past and moving forward to the future? Why not focus on making changes that will improve things and make things better and not keep going back, looking behind us? Can we turn the page looking forward and not in the rearview mirror? We have heard the word transparency sounded off from this board repeatedly since January. But I hate to tell you this, you can't pick and choose how you're going to use it and how you're going to apply it. Transparency means across the board. And many staff members are concerned and questioning some of the recent personnel matter issues and how they came about without jobs being posted. Our teachers and staff need to be kept informed, but for many, it looks like another backroom deal. I have been told that there are people who are not happy with another contract that slipped through the board process of approval recently. There are a lot of material to go through. Believe me, when I get the agenda, I go through it and it takes forever. But I would hope as a board you might get it sooner and do a better job of reading and watching because that is your responsibility. Let me ask you this. Do we have enough licensed principals in every building? I don't know about how up-to-date the job postings are, but there are many schools that need teachers. How are we filling? Or maybe they're filled. How many EP teachers are we going to
30
utilize?
seconds.
Of course, we have to worry about how many third graders will be held back once the final results are in. There is a lot more that could be added, but the main point is, can we start focusing in on the education of students, building up trust in the community and building the corporation rather than worrying about the past. Let's create a new path, a new vision for South Bend schools, and the public is watching. Thank you.
Good evening, Mike McManus, 51940 Lilac Road. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I rise to fully endorse everything Mr. Pachesny just talked about. It's time to move forward. And for those of you who aren't aware, last night, an absolutely horrific thing took place in our county. The County Council of St. Joseph County, for a part of the ordinances governing our county, wiped out the words affirmative action. They are not interested in equity, inclusion, diversity. It's your job to make sure that when you go forward, making plans for the children of this county, that you do not abandon those principles, that you do not allow yourselves to be overcome by the same ignorance, intolerance, and backward thinking of certain other members of county government. So please make sure you commit yourselves to what your own documents say, that you're going to stand up for all of the children in this county, because there are others who aren't, and they're out there actively looking to undermine the most important principles that this country was founded on, and that is that everyone be treated equally. So please make sure you continue that commitment. I believe you have that commitment, but I want everybody to understand that just last night, there are others in this county who abandoned that commitment, and that's awful. Thank you.
Seeing no other people wanting to speak, we will now move to academic focus. 701, cabinet update. And welcome, and please introduce yourself so the listening audience will know who you are. Thank you.
Mr. Eads, I put that policy manual out there for the public, just in case they want to check things. So, but you're free to use it too.
Thank you. Can you please introduce yourself so that we can, the listening audience can know who you are? Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. McCullough, board members, member of the public. If you allow me to introduce the members of the cabinet.
Thank you.
To my extreme left is Dr. Sarita Stevens, Dr. Boyan. To my immediate right is Anaf Tahmid. To his right is Doris Austin Phillips, and to her right is Joe Summers. Can we move to the next slide, please? So this last Monday, we had a retreat, and in the seat would be Carla Lee, but she's out at a conference this evening. We looked at what our priorities are, and I agree with Mr. Pachesny. At times, it felt like we had lost vision. And so at this retreat, we decided that our main priority was to educate the students and to support the families. Once we had that commitment from everyone, and everybody came ready to face the challenges, we got together and we said, what are the challenges facing South Bend schools? So the first thing we looked at is, next year, we will lose $4 million through the tax cap. The following year, we are going to lose $9 million through the tax cap. 2027, we will lose $14 million through the tax cap. Together, 14. Together, in 2027 or 2028, we will lose $27 million. How do we keep momentum going forward? How do we build a sustainable program that will keep on educating our students at the same level? if not improve it. So, if you could go back one, please. Yep. And these are the functions of the cabinet, exactly. Soon, we will have an organogram that will tell you exactly what every person is responsible for and what they will carry forth. In case any member of the public has any questions anywhere, they know exactly who to go to. So, we took a look at the mission and the vision. And I know, Dr. McCullough, you had suggested a beautiful vision that we are looking at incorporating and discussing in more details with the board as the days come. Having said that, let me explain something that sometimes many people forget. And I'm going to reference, I don't know if it was Mr. Pachesny, about having the right people in the right place. I know there are some concerns out there that about positions, candidates, and appointments. Every position that is here this evening for approval has been posted and has been interviewed for, and we had to go with the best candidate that interviewed. We cannot compromise on quality. And so if there are any concerns, I am happy to address them. Shifting to a different point right now. Our cabinet and our people on this side understand the difference between governance and management. The board, one superintendent explained it to me this way. The board says, let there be light. Our job is to make sure the cables run in the right place, the transformers are installed, the lamps are put in the correct place so that we can maximize the light that the board is asking for. And this is where we begin. I know some of the things look rudimentary as you can read them. However, sometimes going back to basics is where we have to start, and that is to educate every child. We need to refocus. So with that, I pass the microphone to Dr. Austin.
Well, thank you. So yes, this is preliminary, and we will be getting community input. But we just looked at a couple of academics that we knew we needed to focus on this coming year. And as you look vertically, there's some strategies, academic strategies that we looked at that we need improving upon. And we talked about how horizontally the teachers will focus on that, as well as principals and central office. So if you look at the second page, you can see iRead. We know that literacy and iRead is a huge focus for South Bend Community Schools. And what's going to be that response by the teacher? How will the principal support that? How will central office support that? So these are just some basic learning strategies that we know we need coming into the 21st century. And yes, we will be getting community input as we strengthen the learning that we need so that we can continually focus on our students so that our students will want to come to South Bend and we can show the wonderful growth and academics that they will be receiving.
Dr. Yan?
So for me and my team, our responsibility is really reflecting our department name, Data, Technology, and System Improvement. Basically, we want to use data and technology to improve our system operations. And the focus is how do we make sure that we use data and technology to make sure we have return on our investments. So also we have developed KPIs to monitor our progress of implementing all the initiatives so we get a return on investment. And also how do we make sure that we can have the optimal outcome with the limited resources. So that's what we're going to focus on in the coming years. Again, we're going to also get feedback from the community, our school administrators, our teachers, and our staff to reflect their input when we implement our initiatives.
Dr. Stevens?
So as we focus on keeping students first, we have great stories to tell about our students' accomplishments, including the pathways that are being offered and also our graduation rates significantly being impacted by our staff's performance and our students' performance. So we owe ourselves a big congratulations for that, but how do we communicate that? We communicate that by making it a part of our brand. I think it's one back. Making it a part of our permanent brand, that we are the school that gets you dual credits, that gets you degrees, and that gets you certified to go into the workforce. We want to improve the communications efficacy, and that is through all social medias. We want to make sure that we are sharing their stories and that we are increasing the alternative narrative knowledge by putting everyone on the same page. And that's through newsletters, constant emailing. We also want to make sure that we improve parent engagement because word of mouth is the most effective form of communications. We want our parents to tell our story, and we want our parents to be proud and happy about the things that are happening in South Bend. And so the next one. And so we'll do that. Also, always in school districts, there you have to manage crisis communications. And so we do need to have a designated spokesperson that coordinates all of that, or else our stories will be all over the place. And so we've done a pretty good job with that. I have to say that Andrew Getz is phenomenal in his team and the things that he does with staying on time and on point. And also we're gonna optimize our platforms, our social media platforms, our web page. We wanna optimize all of those things. And I don't know if Andrew is here and the team is here, but they have already started because we redesigned our website. It's a lot easier, it's not complete, but it's a lot easier to find information. And we wanna do that because we want all of our stakeholders to be on the same page when it comes to information. Okay, we don't have to go through that one. Thank you.
So, for example, the CTE hub in alignment with the new revamped diploma requirements. I don't know if many people know this. The state of Indiana just revamped the diploma, and they went from a core 40 to a 46 credit diploma. That in and by itself puts a challenge, a big challenge. It's a daunting task to make sure that students earn these 46 credits, yet it's not insurmountable. Mr. Stites from Adams, Mr. Henderson from Riley, Mr. Gorelchuk from Washington, we looked at the number of credits that our students have earned in the last 3 years in order to graduate. We found that in the core 40, 81% managed to earn a diploma with 41 credits, which means to get to 46, we have to refocus our efforts into making sure that everybody is on that default 46 diploma, credit diploma. Only 8% of the students who graduated in the last 3 years have earned more than 46 credits. In the future, moving forward, the 8th graders moving to high school this year will have to start earning that 46 credit diploma. They have to have CTE. The CTE hub is of utmost importance right now. Going back to Mr. Pesesny's question about voting on 9.01 and the use of Clay High School. There were plans to have a CTE hub down at the Studebaker building. Those plans fell through. We have a welding lab at Clay High School. We have a dental lab. We have an auto shop. We have a commercial culinary kitchen. The students have been there all this year. It had been in continuous use. Because we could not get bids in time for Washington, the dental lab will not be able to be moved to begin in August. So that means that we will have to use Clay one more year. And for transparency's sake, we were supposed to be downstate on June the 16th for an evidentiary hearing about the use of Clay High School. That meeting was postponed by the judge, and the judge said that he would come up here and look at the facts on the ground and talk to the people in South Bend about their community. So, having said that, that goes hand in hand with what you are about to vote on, which is the continuous use of Clay High School. We are planning to add 2 more programs there that do not need that much renovation. Actually, they need minimal renovation, and that is the criminal justice program and the education professions. Enough?
Thank you, Mr. Reed. This is Arnav Tahmid, Chief Financial Officer. My perspective about a strategic plan is we, the corporation, with the help of the board and the public, will set mission and vision. And then from the vision, we will have our strategic objectives for all the departments, and we will set KPIs, quantifiable KPIs. And I'm glad that one of the members from tonight's audience mentioned about the KPIs, and she appreciated that finance has included some KPIs, because that is exactly what we wanted to do. Unless KPIs are quantifiable, I mean, we will not be able to evaluate our own performance. So as you can see in these strategic objectives, we have set our target that we need to maintain at least 2 months of operational expenditure worthy cash reserve. We have that now, and we want to maintain that. However, not at the expense of our teachers, brand ambassadors, or our students. Having a too much cash reserve is not actually good. So we just want to maintain, we have a 2 months worth of cash reserve with us, and we can reinvest the money in education. That is our second point, actually. We want to maximize our investment on education through operational efficiency. Now, we all know about the Senate bills and everything going on, the cuts in property tax, or the reduction in revenue for our pupil. We are into a challenging time. However, there can be innovative ways with help of technology to explore innovative revenue potentials. That is what we want to do. At the same time, we want to lower our operational costs as much as we can, and there are many ways to do that. For instance, recently we are trying to do a district-wide analysis for insourcing versus outsourcing opportunities, one of the prime example being the SSC. So we have terminated the contract with SSCA, and I have mentioned multiple times that that will allow us to save approximately $3 to $5 million every year, which is huge. So that is the prime example, as I mentioned. We want to explore more opportunities to save money from the operational side, and ultimately the goal will be to maximize the money on the education side. And I'm just not like saying words there. We have actually done that even in the 2025 budget. I would like to remind everyone that there was a time when we used to transfer the full 15% from our education fund to our operations fund. In 2024, that was 9.1%, but in 2025, I lowered that down with the approval of the board to 5.5%. Quantitatively, that meant that our education fund had $5 million more in this challenging time, which is huge. Ideally, I would like that to be 0% so that we can fully invest the 100% of revenues in our education fund there. Now, what happens when we have more fund in our education pot? And there comes the next objective. We want to offer the maximum possible compensation or raises to our teachers and other brand ambassadors. We have a lot of bus drivers present today. Thank you for coming here. We have our paraprofessionals, we have our custodian employees. So our job will be to ensure that we can give them the maximum raises and compensation. Finance will not hold back any money there. And you have seen that, you have seen proof of that, right? I mean, we have offered our paraprofessionals a very good stipend recently. The goal was to rebuild our internal capacity and reduce our reliance on contracted vendors. When I became the interim CFO in September 2024, I had to deal with 4 union negotiations. Previously, it often took weeks or even months, but we finished all the negotiations in a week because I did not want our brand ambassadors to fight for 10 cents or 50 cents there. So we did not hold back money, and we are not going to hold back money. And if you take a look at today's agenda, there is actually a stipend for our bus drivers, and I will share more details. So the goal will be to optimize our budget to see innovative ways where we can perhaps empower our own employees, brand ambassadors, and teachers. That is the strategy here. Now, we have talked about the short term, but there are some challenges coming in 2028 or beyond. The worst impact for Senate Bill 1 will take place from 2029. Also, our referendum ends in 2028, so we will have to think beyond that. And this is something I would like to address to the board and the public at a later point. We want to minimize our budget versus expenditure variance. It has to be within 5%. Previously, it has been more than that, but we have set our own KPI that we want to be within 5% there. Again, we want to improve our operational efficiency. At the same time, we want to introduce a customer satisfaction perspective into our services. As the CFO, I have 4 big portfolios under me, including financial services. For financial services, our customers are our own employees or our vendors. And then there is transportation. Mr. Reed recently moved the transportation department to my executive leadership. I am trying to understand it, and we'll try to do it better. So transportation is also a service, right? We are serving our students and parents. Food and nutrition, that is also under my portfolio. We are directly serving our students. Then we have facilities management. We are serving our kids and also our teachers and all the employees at all our buildings. So we want to introduce a customer satisfaction score there where all the customers will be able to rate us, rate the level of service, and we will take inputs from that and we'll try to improve the satisfaction level from a service perspective, because that is why we are here, to serve our stakeholders, right? Building community trust through financial transparency, I don't want to talk about that much because this is all I have been trying to do since the last year, with regular updates, presentations, work sessions, media interviews, and everything there. Also, we want to improve our compliance with the Indiana purchasing law, our own board policies, because in previous audit reports, we have been flagged multiple times for lack of internal controls. There has been findings. Right now, we are being audited by the state. There is also going on an independent investigation. Going forward, we want to focus on our own internal control and audit so that we don't have to do another investigation ever. That will be the ultimate goal. And again, I would like to remind the board and the public that our buildings are old, our facilities are old. Approximately, we need $250 million if we want to fix all our buildings and everything there. That is huge. We don't have the money. That is why we have to prioritize. So the finance team's responsibility is to raise that capital so that we can do those capital expenditures, but not at the expense of raising the tax rate for our taxpayers. Next is actually facilities management, so Mr. Summers will talk more about his plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tamid. Our goal for the facilities team is to ensure safe, efficient, and equitable learning environments that support student learning. And our objective is clear. It's to help carry out the district's plan by keeping school buildings safe, efficient, and easy for everyone to use, so students and staff have the best possible place to learn and to work. And how facilities will plan to achieve our objective is to check buildings regularly to decide what needs to be fixed, improved, or prioritized. Use energy-saving methods and make long-term upgrades that help the learning environment. Make sure all schools are accessible, clean, and meet ADA standards. Work with the teaching and support staff to make sure our buildings support learning needs, and to help plan and manage building projects to support growing programs and student enrollment.
And staying focused on keeping our students first, we look forward to attracting and retaining highly qualified, certified individuals and non-certified support individuals. Our paraprofessional team is very important to supporting instruction. And so we're looking forward to also getting them certified through our Grow Your Own initiative. Right now, there are 2 initiatives out there. We plan on collapsing them to one. We do have a very good partner in Bloomberg, and Math Tracker is more of a national partnership. So we're looking to get involved in those types of things. We also talked about allocating, being laser focused and allocating federal funds to support training and to increase knowledge base of all our staff members, and to improve our relations with, this is a separate issue, to improve employee relations with our monthly meetings. We already have monthly meetings with NEA. We also have weekly meetings with the president. We think that that's very important because we have to grab those issues ongoing. Because if it gets to the negotiation table, as Arnav said, it takes longer. So we want to make sure that we improve those relations with ongoing talks. And we do twice a month with NEA, and we do monthly, and we also call meetings every now and then with ASME and the Teamsters. We are always open to their conversations. We want to also improve our evaluation process. We think that every employee should be evaluated at least once, and that is according to our policy. So we want to make sure that we optimize that by creating standard operation proceedings where everyone knows the schedule. And that's what we're doing right now. I also want to go back to communications very quickly because I got a message that this is not an unfinished website. It is a growing, living document. So I want the millennials to know that the baby boomer got his message and I instantly delivered that message to you. And he is right. It is a living document that changes. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Thank you. And one last point. I know this also deals with Mr. Pasesny's question, is how many EPs? Well, the board about 3 meetings ago approved the job description for a teacher, mentor, facilitator. And that person has been approved at the last board meeting, Ms. Jessica Hoover. She will be meeting with every EP teacher on a regular basis, twice a month, mandatory, no questions asked, non-negotiable. These teachers, in order for the state to issue that emergency permit, we have to commit to providing those individuals with all the help in terms of classroom management, teaching strategies, methodologies, etc. She is the person who will be conducting that, and she will be meeting with them virtually every first and third Tuesday, and she will be visiting them in their classroom on a daily basis and do the whole tour. So no matter how many EPs, we have committed to giving them all the support and not simply appointing them or assigning them to a classroom and have them sink or swim. So, having said that, are there any questions?
No questions. I have a comment. Questions? Mr. Liba? Anybody have questions? Dr. Green, you have a question? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thanks. First, this was a wonderful presentation. I think we all agree that this has been a long time coming. and that it will be important to lay out some of the specifics, that go along with this. And I think that's the hard part. I did a little experiment, and I typed in a mission, vision, and strategic plan for a school corporation. And ChatGPT is really good about giving you the answer. It's got nothing to do with a specific corporation, but if you run a formula, you will get the common denominator among maybe 1,000 or 2,000 different school districts. So I think it's really important, the community part, that the community is involved in trying to unpack what we mean by these things. I think the curriculum piece is really important to me, and what I want to ask as a follow-up really comes from our sense of what equity is. And I look at the state requirements for literacy for third graders.
Mm-hmm.
If our teachers were to follow every one of those mandates, they would never get done. So I think what's really important is to distill for teachers, and teachers will do this for us, but I think it's really important to distill the 18 different standards so that it's actually possible to get students to read and enjoy it. Maybe joy could be in the strategic plan. And I'm not being facetious at all. But I think that what we've heard over the years when it comes to equity and kids and thriving is the fact that, the way we think about a curriculum and all of these goals, are these culturally sustaining? Are we talking about all of our children, no matter what their first language is? Are we making sure that all of our kids' needs are being fulfilled? And in this day and age, to make sure that their rights are protected for the full extent of the law. And I think that's something that the board should put forth at some point. But I think culturally relevant as well would be so very important. We have community people who I think could help us grow. The Brain Lair seems to be one of the great assets of our community, and it's a bookstore about inclusion. I'm not so sure that the books that I'm asked to work with kids on day to day in tutoring are particularly culturally relevant. Get kids really excited about learning, that they see themselves in what they're reading, in what they're talking about, and even what they're writing. The other last thing, this kind of reflects, in a way, my own interest in the equity statement we passed in 2020, making sure we're developing culturally relevant, sustaining pedagogies. And we know people have come to the podium time and again, even tonight. Where is it? Where's the evidence that we're doing this? So I think it's really connected. The last thing I would say is that as we're thinking about curriculum, it has to reflect, the kinds of struggles that our middle school kids are facing. We got the data last fall, and the number of kids who are 2 and 3 grades behind. But the notion of literacy is changing, and the fact that you have AI up there, we could spend hours and hours talking about what artificial intelligence is. One of our valedictorians apologized on stage for the fact that kids are writing with artificial intelligence now, with the very prompt that I put into ChatGPT, and got a wonderfully eloquent answer that had nothing to do with South Bend schools. So I think promoting writing in the context of a changing literacy is really important. And thinking about literacy as multiple literacies. It's rare that any of us read a text without an image and sound and hyperlinks. Are our kids ready to do that? And when are we preparing them to do that? So I would hope that as we're moving forward, implicit is the question, what are we doing to educate ourselves to make sure that we're offering a strategic plan that reflects what we know about what kids need? And if that's the central part of this, I love the fact that, we're saying we've got to come back, John, to thinking about kids. What do they need in the context in which they're living? Not because McGraw-Hill says so. Yes, sir.
If I may
Please.
say, tomorrow we have a meeting actually with an AI expert to look at what is it that we need to do. How do we as a corporation approach this new curveball that was sent our way, that students are so much more proficient in using than we are. We found certain things in the past, like, for example, ChatGPT. If you subscribe, if you purchase a membership, then you can send what the student sends you to that membership, and it will tell you if it has been produced via ChatGPT or not, or via any other AI, Genesis, what have you out there. So tomorrow we are having a conversation, Dr. Yan, myself, and this, I'm assuming they want to sell us a product, but we are going to listen and see if we can do it the El Cheapo way.
So the El Cheapo way, for me, is instructional design.
Yeah.
Are we coming up with assignments that ask students to do something more than type in the prompt and get the answer? Yeah. That, to me, is the bottom line. Yeah. And students may not feel this way day to day, that they have the luxury to think through problems and write eloquently. But if they don't do it, the newest research on neuroscience says within 6 months, if a kid uses, any of us, I should not say just kids, any of us are using ChatGPT or any other AI device, then we probably won't even remember what we wrote. Yep. And the key is to try to persuade kids that it's really important to be creative and to contribute something new, not to rehash what someone else and someone else and someone else has done before. So I hope the expert knows well enough that it's not learning the best way to use it, it's the best way to put the onus on our students and ourselves to do our best work. Okay,
Noted.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Noted.
Any other questions? Mr. Costello?
No questions, comment. First of all, I appreciate each and every comment that I heard here tonight at this table. This is much needed to give the public the opportunity to see that we are looking forward to the future and that we are very interested in making sure we have the best programs going forward. I'm not going to be redundant with Dr. Green's comments because he stole some of the things I was going to say. But the word I guess I'm looking forward to is action. There's words. There's a philosophy. But we have to have action to get it done. You people in our central office are key people. You're very, very important. But your number one job, and I keep repeating this, and hopefully you understand, you are servants to the people down below. You need to give them the opportunity to shine. You need to give them the opportunity to get the job done in the classroom. It's very, very important for you to understand your roles and understand your duties. Yes, you have to make decisions. And sometimes it doesn't go along very well with maybe some people that you're over. But as long as you're making those decisions with the understanding of some of the conflicts that they might be having, then you can live with them. But hearing people, I'll use the word complain, doesn't mean they're evil people. They're trying to help you. Maybe they're not on the right track. But listen, listening is a special skill that all administrators must have. And now, hopefully going forward, you know, I have heard so many people make comments recently. There isn't any difference in what we have right now in administration than what we had before. I've heard that from people, some of my good friends. They're wrong. I wouldn't be able to make these statements that I made with the other administrators. They wouldn't listen to me. You might not agree with everything I am proposing or everything that I try to help with, but at least you listen, and that's very, very important. So I thank you very much for your presentation tonight, and I thank you for your ability to make this school corporation enrollment grow. Thank you.
And I just have a comment. So my comments, I'm gonna lead off like this. I appreciate you coming to the public and to explaining the plan, because the public needs to hear that. Not just people by email, but the public needs to hear the plan. So I appreciate you agreeing to come and bringing your team forward to explain. And so back in June, I sent foundational information to the board and also the superintendent of suggestions to possibly relook at the strategic plan, also the mission statement, the vision statement. And I Google a lot. I've Googled several schools in the state. I also Googled schools in other states just to get an idea of where they were. We visited a Fort Wayne school, and one of the things I really liked about that Fort Wayne school is that they want to service the whole child. And that is one thing that I liked about that school. I also use the Indiana School Board Association. They have a wealth of information there. So I pull from that. And so if we can we have a meeting coming up, I think it's July 15th, a working session. And there's going to be other information that we can tie together with our team here to hopefully come up and fine tune our plan that we are looking forward, goals and objectives that we're looking forward to incorporate it and put it into place. We also want to make sure that this community understands that I don't see anyone sitting up here that is against equity and inclusion. We want to make sure that every one of our students receive a quality education and the resources that they need in order to get that education. So just understand, just because another group of folks voted down equity and inclusion does not mean that's going to happen here with our students. We are here to service every student, and every student deserves the proper education, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to work with this group that we have here in front of you, and we're going to make sure that we are transparent when we provide information to you. We already started that process back in January up until June, and we're making sure that every step that we make, that you understand that we're going to be transparent with the information that we give you. So I appreciate you all coming forward and talking to this and letting the public know where we started and where we're headed. I appreciate that, thank you. Are there any other questions for you? Thank you. We're going to move along
Thank you.
to our consent agenda. We can move on now to the consent agenda. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees approve the consent agenda. 8.01, 8.02, 8.03, 8.04, 8.05, 8.06, 8.07.
So moved.
Second.
Madam Chair, I wonder if we could pull 804.
I was going to do that, thank you. It was moved by Mr. Snydecki, second by Mrs. Lee. We're going to pull 8.04 and vote separately on 8.04. Do I have, I have the motion. Are there any questions or concerns regarding 8.01, 8.02, 8.03, 8.05, 8.06, 8.07? No questions or concerns. Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leyva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye. It is a unanimous vote to approve 8.01, 8.02, 8.03, 8.05, 8.06, and 8.07. 7 votes to approve those items. We now move to 8.04. Can I have a motion to approve 8.04?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions regarding 8.04? No? No questions?
Go ahead.
If there are no questions, I would like to pull item number 5 from the non-certified in 8.04. Item number 5, and vote on that separately.
That- Yeah, I know. Could you clarify, is that non-cert or
8.05, under non-certified,
non-cert? Number 5.
number 5, under non-certified, 8.0. You have that?
Got it.
Okay, everybody has
the
that?
one
And
that's
is
online.
that from the termination list or from the higher list?
It's the non-certified, not the termination list,
Okay.
it's the non-certified.
The list that's currently online? Okay. Is it, I just want to make sure she's okay.
If you're on board docs, it should be under personnel.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
you
just
got
make-
that?
I thought you had paper, so I just wanted, because it changed, so.
Okay, do you have that?
We have
Okay, then. Okay, so are there any other questions regarding 8.04 before we vote? Because we're going to vote on that item separately. No questions? Okay, so here we go. So 8.04, excluding item number 5 under non-certified. Do I have Mrs. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leyva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye. 8.04, excluding non-certified number 5, passes, 7 votes. We now are going to vote separately on item number 5 under non-certified. Do I have a motion to approve item number 5
So moved.
under non-certified? It's been moved by Mrs. Lee. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been moved by Ms. Lee, second by Mr. Snydecki. Are there any questions under item number 5? Okay. Mrs. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison,
Aye.
Mr. Costello,
No.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Dr. Green,
Aye.
Mr. Leyba,
Abstain.
Mr. Snedecki,
Aye.
Dr. McCullough.
Nay. So it's
I think it's 4-2-1.
so the item number 5 passes 4-2, 1 abstention and 1 nay. No? Am I right?
I think they're, yep.
Ellison, Lee, Green, Snydecki. I'm sorry, 2 nays and 1 abstention and 1, 2, 3, 4 yays. So it passes. Okay, so we can move on to, we now move on to action items. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees approve action item 9.01, approve resolution to continue use of repurposing of Clay High School building. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions, comments?
Yes, question.
Mr. Leba?
Street, quick question on this.
Yes, sir.
If you give us a timeline, I know, how did we get here from 2023, you voted to close Clay, now we're a resolution to I'm just trying to get the community, what's the timeline? How did we get here?
It has never ceased to be used. It has been in continuous use. So instead of declaring it a closed building, by voting on the continuous use, because we are still using it. We have used it, we plan on using it, and even if a judge says you must vacate the premises and hand it over to the Career Academy, it will need, they will give us 1 year simply because the Career Hub plans did not go through, and we will need 1 year to come up with a plan for a replacement hub. Having said that, Clay High School would be the perfect place for it.
And that's what the Clay parents, the Clay families, have you got any feedback?
Yes, sir.
That's, okay.
Any other questions
Yes.
regarding?
Could I get council to weigh in, because I'm not sure of the date? So the board, as you know.
We know.
We know. So you know that part. Now, the league council twice wanted the board, the previous board, right, to pass a resolution, actually, that looks very similar. Continued use. Is that your understanding, that the previous board has done that as well? In April 23?
Yeah, I got to walk a fine line on this one because
okay.
I don't want to cross the lines of any conflict since I was involved on the opposite side.
Oh, I see.
But I think I can answer historically. There was an effort to pass some type of resolution to indicate some intent to use Clay.
Yep.
And that's all I can say on that.
And we'll have to go to the record, but I think it was a 5 vote support of continuous use of Clay.
Okay.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Are there any? Are
Yeah.
you done? Are you
I'm done.
I'm sorry. Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Mr. Snydecki?
And I think I speak for the rest of the board. It's probably one of the hardest decisions we got to come up with. If we had this board, Clay would have never closed. Clay will always be part of South Bend School Corporation, no matter who owns the building. But they decided to close for what reason, I can't still imagine. But the bottom line, it's been a couple years, and we told them as far as we got to move on. And I think the Garitoni, the charter thing, even wants to work with us in some way. I think charter schools are probably going to be around for a while, but they could never compete with South Bend School Corporation. So we'll always have the advantage, no matter whether we have the building or they have the building. And again, it's a hard decision. We had a meeting, a retreat in June, and it was May or June, and we were told at that time that there was going to be a decision made on June 16th. So at least 4 of us that was at the retreat, because it's been going on and on, costing tons of lawyer fees and everything else, and the only one that's hurting is the kids, because no matter what, they're still our kids, no matter where they go, and that is my main objective, is getting that to their heads, and whether it's in a charter school or whether it's here. But I'll always be loyal to the South Bend School Corporation, and I don't think charter schools could compete with us. And but the bottom line is, we got to put a stop someplace. It's costing us money that should be going to the kids. We could put our CTE to offer, even I think, to keep our CTE there for a while. But we got other places, so like I said, we at least 4 of us said if we're denied when June 16th meeting came up, that we're just gonna bow out, no more appeals. Well, June 16th come up. And the judge, it was awarded to, basically, the judge awarded it to charter a long time ago, but we kept on appealing and appealing and appealing. And so we decided we were gonna, if he still does it on the 16th, we're not gonna put any more appeals in. Well, June 16th come up, and the judge didn't make any kind of decision, so. Supposedly, we still own the building, but it was awarded to them in a judgment, and we keep on appealing it. So I'm gonna have to, just to move on, I'm gonna say no for this resolution.
Any other questions, Mr. Costello?
I agree with my friend, Mr. Snidecki, and I agree with my friend, Dr. Green. And that's why this is very, very difficult vote. I tried my darndest to save Clay. And even after that vote, Dr. McCullough and I tried to get them to use Clay High School as the CTE hub. We did it in vain. Then I've been hearing for the last 2 years how the old administration was going to save Clay. After giving it up for $1, They had these great plans to save clay. And every time they tried to operate their plan, either the court set in or the state legislature set in or whatever, but it all failed. Over this past year, we have been given information from our attorneys who I think are working their darndest for us to try to keep clay for us. But in the end, I think there's two chances. Slim, or should I say very, very slim, and none. And I say that because of the political activities in the state of Indiana. I was hoping we could make a deal with the person that had the dollar bill out there buying Clay High School, which is a $40 to $50 million structure. And I tried to explain to the old administration, you can't give up a $40 or $50 million structure like this. Incompetency at its greatest. But they did. And here we are. And tonight, the board has to make the decision whether to stay with what we have, spend more money on defending an issue that I don't think we'll ever win, or give it up. I came in here tonight without a decision. I can't give up Clay. I'm going to vote for it.
Back to Mr. E. How much does it cost to maintain Clay every year? How much is it costing us?
In terms of what?
Maintenance.
I would have to defer to.
Enough.
No, Mr. Summers. Mr. Summers. Yeah. Would you like to answer that? I don't have the numbers at my fingertips. Everything okay back there? Oh, no.
Is it raining outside?
I understand.
Hello. At least approximately $50,000.
Completely understand.
Ballpark. Approximately $50,000 at least, ballpark.
And that's just to keep the lights on.
Yes. But if we operate the building with some other capacity, let's say if we try to utilize the building, in that case we will have to make sure that we have full-time custodial employees there. So if we consider the payroll costs, I mean, it will be much more than that, you know. I mean, if we have 3 custodial employees, overall at least $200,000 yearly.
But we're also talking about community partners coming into the building and paying for use.
No.
So right now it's not precisely calculable.
Yeah.
The question, I think there are a couple of questions, and I always turn to Mr. Augustino, but I realize this might be delicate. But regardless, it seems to me that the judge hasn't given over Clay to the charter operator. It's been contested from the very start. Even the nature of the law changed, so that the dollar law seemed to be one thing, and whether this board, the previous board, received the right counseling or not, we make the decision that we wanted to hold on to it. The only thing I would say in addition, and Ms. Lee, you're more articulate about this than I am, but it was to me, in retrospect, the way it was presented was, the facilities master plan was a package that included Clay. And those of us who believed we needed to hold on to Clay could not vote for the facilities master plan as it was. It's complex, people change their minds, and I think that's what's happened. I think if the previous board had walked through Clay and seen what assets it has for learning, and 3 of us walked through Clay recently and realized, or it was reaffirmed for us, just what, an asset it is, and that we should be making use of it. In part for the corporation, but I think we're agreeing that the corporation's ownership is really about co-ownership with the community. The idea of bringing in community organizations to that part of the neighborhood would be really important. Maybe we even have to open up the tennis court. I hadn't thought about that, John. But I think that's part of it. So that's kind of where I am right now. And I haven't vacillated. I certainly didn't come as far as others had in trying to protect Clay. But I think that in retrospect, it was a complicated decision. It was not presented to the board in a way I would have presented it. And at the time, I'm not even sure it was a plan. If we had had phases and unpacked what each phase meant, I think it might have been easier for even the community to have understood. So I don't know if that helps. Yeah. We could keep going over this history, but it's complicated.
It is complicated.
Can I just?
Please.
Any other questions? Ms. Lee?
Not so much a question, but more of like a, kind of building on what Dr. Green said. I think challenging for sure. The decision was hard, and I've thought for a long time all the implementation should be a multi-phased approach. You have to figure out what we're gonna do, how we're gonna rearrange students to maximize our buildings, but with the idea of how do we best use our facilities to serve our students. Knowing that with population shifts and the way things are, we don't have every seat full in every building that we own right now. So in our community as a whole, if you look at the entire K-12 ecosystem, like there are not enough kids to fill every seat that we have right now in all of the high schools that we have. So how can the Clay building and grounds be used to best benefit the children that we are serving and be complementary to the schools that we have functioning as traditional schools? Because we may not need traditional high school seats, but there are other things that could benefit our students and our broader community, and I feel like the community that lives around Clay High School. And I think that's the important part of having the community involved in whatever does come next with Clay High School. What does it mean, and what could be of benefit to the entire community, not just our students, but the broader community who is invested in that building. When you think of the fact that South Bend Schools is over 100 years old. Green used to be a K-12 school. Lots of things have changed. High school, I mean, if you go back and look at the configurations in buildings, crazy. But that's happened in districts across the country. So how do we figure out the assets that we have built, supported, renovated, bought new boilers and chillers for, everything our tax dollars have been invested in? How does South Bend Community School Corporation use that to continue best serving the students and families that we currently serve? And I think Clay has great value to our community and our students.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Ellison.
I wasn't on the previous board when they made the prior decision about Clay, so I'm not gonna opine about that, but I do think from where we are now and where we are looking forward, we have the building, we've used it continuously this entire time. We're planning to have lots of things in there this coming school year and more. I think it would be a great place for the CTE hub, which is something I think that we need. And I think, it's a $40-50 million asset, and we should not give it up for $1. We should hold on to Clay until they come and pry it away from us, from our cold, dead hands. We should not give this building away for $1. There are all kind of things that we're using it for. We're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to put more things in there that make sense for our students. It's an asset that people in this community have contributed and paid tax dollars for decade after decade after decade. It has been in use continuously, and we need to continue to use it. And I'm much more bullish on what I think will get the legal result in terms of appealing it. You know, we've got it before the court right now. We should wait to see what they say in terms of this and then go from there. But I think it's very straightforward to the judge. Look, we've been using the building continuously. It was never boarded up and closed. And the building, you know, I was just one of the ones that just walked through there recently. It's full. We're, you know, it's a combination of students, a combination of outside partners, a combination of a lot of programs that we're using for with CT now. And we have an opportunity, you know, we're going to be continuing to put more and more things in there. And that's what we should do. We should continue to focus and move forward. As this Clay is our building, it's going to continue to be our building. I think that's the position that we should take, and we should act in that way. So I definitely plan to vote in favor of this resolution tonight, because I think it's important that we keep Clay for this community, that we do not close that building, we not give it away for $1, and I would be adamantly opposed. Now, if, you know, in terms of negotiating or talking with them, sure, we can talk to anybody about anything. I'm not opposed to us talking to Ms. Gary Tony about this, that, or the other, but we should do it from the position that Clay is our building. We intend to continue to lose Clay. We intend to not give it to you for $1 and go forward from there. That's the current status. That's the status that it's always been. It has always been our building. It is our building now, and it's going to continue to be our building in the future. I fully and firmly believe in that, and I think that's the approach that we should take, and that's what we should do.
So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to move on to the vote. But I want to say this. I want the public to understand, and where I stand, where I've always stood. As an employee, a retired employee from this corporation, it wasn't a hard decision for me to make for Clay. Clay had a wonderful automotive department. They had a wonderful digital arts department. They had a wonderful several other departments in that school that I felt they should never have closed that school. I also feel they should never close any of our schools. And so I also had the impression or felt that, if you heard me many times say, recruit, recruit, recruit. We should be out there trying to recruit students. To do that, you have to improve your academics. We need to be concentrating on that. And so that's how you get students to come here. Parents need to feel that their kids are safe, that their kids are getting a quality education. That's how you recruit students. I've said that from the very beginning. I will continue to say that. So as far as closing that school, I'm like Mr. Ellison, prayer from my dead hands, because I will never vote to close Clay. I did not vote to approve putting the CTE in that other building that they had. They wanted us to pay a 20-year lease. I did not approve moving kids all over this corporation to put a CTE in Coquillard. Stop disrupting children to find a CTE program. I also agree with partner with Ivy Tech. They have all the facilities there. So if we need a CTE, partner with Ivy Tech. What is the problem with that? So, having said that, I will not vote to close Clay High School. I will vote to approve this resolution until we figure out what is the bottom line. So having said that, I would like to move on to the vote. Mrs. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leyba?
No.
Mr. Snedecki?
No.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye. It's 5 votes to 2 to approve the resolution to continue the repurposing of Clay High School. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees approve action item 9.02, approve the resolution requesting funding of the attendance officer from the St. Joe County Council. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Lee, second by Dr. Green. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns regarding this item?
Does it need to be explained? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Just for the community, I don't know if it needs to be kind of explained.
Mr. Superintendent
You.
I'm sorry, Superintendent E, can you please explain to the community?
Okay, this was a mandate from the state that every district in Indiana, school corporation, must have an attendance officer. And in order to defray the cost, the county, with the help of Mr. Agostino, had funds to defray the cost for that attendance officer. So basically, this resolution, okay, is to request those funds from the county in order to pay for the attendance officer. So this attendance officer is going to have the attendance policy, and I can briefly go over it if you want. If basically, no, okay, I can explain it some other day. I'm happy to do so anytime.
I appreciate it. Mrs. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison.
Aye.
Mr. Costello.
Aye.
Ms. Lee.
Aye.
Dr. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Leba.
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki.
Aye.
Dr. McCullough.
Aye. The vote passes 7 votes to approve the action item 9.02. It is recommended that the school corporation, school board trustees approve action item 9.03, approval of the CDW education contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? Superintendent Lee, can you please give a quick explanation to the public what this is?
I would need to bring it up if you just give me 1 second, Doc.
Mr. Monger's here too. Mr. Reed. He's over there.
Thank you.
Matthew Munger, Director of IT. Essentially, this syncs our Google licenses. So every student Chromebook requires a license. And this just keeps that in sync. That as we get new students, it sets up the license and it kind of happens automatically every night.
I appreciate it, thank you. Sometimes when you have letters like that, people don't understand what that is. I appreciate your explanation.
Okay, thanks.
I've lost 2 people.
But you're at?
Mr. Leba is right there.
Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison.
He's coming.
Mr. Costello.
Aye.
Ms. Lee.
Aye.
Dr. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Leba.
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki.
Aye.
Dr. McCullough.
Aye. Mr. Ellison, can you ask him for his vote again, please?
Mr. Ellison.
Aye.
The vote it passes 7 votes to approve action item 9.03. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees approve action item 9.04, approval of the Power School license and subscription. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Who's second? Dr. Green?
Second.
Sorry. Are there any questions concerning this action item? Any questions, concerns? Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison.
Aye.
Mr. Costello.
Aye.
Ms. Lee.
Aye.
Dr. Green.
Aye.
Mr. Leba.
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki.
Aye.
Dr. McCullough.
The motion passes 7 votes to approve action item 9.04. It is recommended that the School Board Trustees approve action item 9.05, approval of blocks renewal. Is there an explanation of what that is for the public?
Yes, this is a content filter for the student Chromebooks.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve action item 9.05?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Snydecki, second by Ms. Lee. Are there any questions concerning this action item? Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leyva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye, the vote passes 7 to approve 9.05. It is recommended that the School Board of Trustees approve action item 9.06, approval of the level data renewal. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Green, second by Ms. Lee. Are there any questions regarding this item? Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leyva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye. It's been approved, 7 votes to approve action item 9.06. It is recommended that the School Board Trustees approve action item 9.07, approval of principal intern positions, 14 to be paid by the Title I funds. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions concerning this, Mr. Costello?
Yes. Are these, I guess I'm going to be asking you, Mr. Reed, are these intern positions? Could you give us a little bit of a, why we need these? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So to develop the pipeline of effective principals, we need, one, the principal intern to train them to become effective principals. 2, to allow the principals and the assistant principals to get into the classrooms so that we can ensure effective teaching is going on. Also, to provide, to really work with our students, and I know counselors is important, to really work with our students to provide that social emotional learning, to build those relationships with those students, to provide somewhat what counselors would meet with them in groups, in small groups, to get them to understand what learning is all about, to work with them with their issues, and to, continue to learn how to become a highly effective principal.
Okay, is there qualifications?
Yes,
Okay,
you will need
what's
your
their qualifications?
qualifications.
For them to
We're
apply
asking
this?
for them to have their principal license, and if they don't have their principal license, they're 1 or 2 classes away from becoming licensed.
Okay, are these, you recruit from the classroom? Do these basically teachers in the classrooms?
These are teachers, or we'll be interviewing for anyone who has their principal license and would like to get on that road to becoming a principal.
Okay, and most of these are elementary schools?
No, we're doing K-8, elementary and middle schools.
Elementary
And middle schools.
and middle schools, okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
3 high schools.
Oh,
3
right,
high
I'm
school
sorry.
positions.
It is K-12.
The title funds will pay for the
Sure.
elementary and the
Sure.
K-8.
So this is different, oh, I'm sorry.
No,
No.
go ahead.
This is different than what the deans did in
Yes.
schools?
Yes.
So
They will take some of their part of the things they have done, but they are not part of the bargaining unit. They are part of the administrative team.
Now, again, it's a great plan, and I guess I would like to know, is everybody getting equal pay?
Yes.
All 24?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, there were 3 rates, one for the elementary, one for the middle, and one for the high school. And they start 65, 70, 75.
Do you get paid through Title I?
Yes,
14 of the buildings.
14
only
of them.
some of them, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Well, my last comment, and I'll probably support it. But I have questions in my mind because most of these people these 24 teachers that are being pulled out of the classroom are probably 24 of our best teachers. And that is where I, have some concerns about. If we are focusing on doing the best, getting the best people in the classrooms to teach our students, I do have some concerns in that area, and I'm just telling you, that's a concern I have in this. And I don't know how you can get away from it because, again, I would be looking at a master teacher in order, if I was a principal of one of these schools, to assist and help me out. And so it's one of these things. It's what can we do best? And I do know every school has need for more help in the office area. I do know that. And with many, many challenges these people have every day, having one additional person there to support you, it would be a great assistance and help. But I just have a real concern about pulling our best teachers out of the classroom. Thank you.
And we will make sure the principals play an integral role in that shift and that change.
And the principals will choose their own. We have nothing to do with that.
Now, we will also support the principals in that because we have to let them know, here's the list that's available.
I just want the parents to understand and know that these are not counselors, and they should not be classified as counselors, and that should not be told to parents that they are counselors. They are not counselors. Counselors have a different degree, and they have to be certified. And also, when these folks are, if they're approved tonight, these folks are pulled out, they have to have their administration license to be considered administrator. Even if interns, they need to have their administrative license to do administrative work. So I want that to be clear, and not someone that's got 3 days or three classes away from having an administration license. They have to have an administration license to be considered an administrator. So just so you know that. Are there any other questions or concerns?
Yeah, the principals support this. I support this. Thank you.
And I totally agree with Mark here. We can't we're short teachers now. I don't want to take a licensed teacher out and put an EP in the classroom. That would be wrong thing to do. And none of this is going to work unless we get to plan and train everybody. We've talked about it since we've been on the board here, that training is going to be a major thing that we're going to implement that we haven't had. Dealing with IEP kids and security guards, and we have done so much that people don't know, or we all voted for putting the aids in buses to make it safer for our kids to get there, so the driver could keep their hands and eyes on the road. We have all employees, including bus drivers, will have alarms that we got to still train our people on, right, during the summer, that if something happens, get in a fight, or someone overdoses, or something happens in the classroom, you're going to, whether it's on the bus or whether it's in a classroom or in a hallway, you're going to be able to press that button and get instant help. I don't want teachers or bus drivers, even the paras that could be on, to break up a fight. I want them to press that button and get help, so the bus driver could stop that bus and call the police. But a lot of these incidents won't happen if that para is on that bus. they won't do it if there's a person there watching them. So,
I just have one.
Go ahead. I'm done.
So I think it's important to note that we're not taking teachers out of the classroom. Teachers are making a choice that they want to pursue their principal's license. So we're giving, hopefully, excellent educators within our district an opportunity for professional growth that they want. And in this role as a principal intern, they're able to better support the educators who are staying in the classroom. So hopefully we can make more teachers possibly make staying in the classroom more attractive than becoming a principal. I think there's pros and cons on both sides of that, right? Like, what are you gonna do? But I think this is professional growth, and being a district that provides professional growth to our educators and sees their potential. And I've heard people say many times over the years, you shouldn't be a principal unless you've been an educator.
That's true.
So that's where you start. So it's like any other job, that's your career pathway. So if you wanna grow into that, I think it's great that we're offering that opportunity, and then they can loop back and provide support to those who are still in the classroom. So thanks for this.
If there are no other questions or comments, Mrs. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Nay. The vote passes 6-1 to approve 9.07. It is recommended by the school board trustees I don't have this on my paper, so I have to look at the computer, to approve 9.08, approve the resolution authorizing stipends for corporation bus drivers. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Lee, second by Dr. Green. Are there any questions regarding this item? Ms. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leva?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye, the vote passes unanimously, 7 votes to approve 9.08.
Ms. President, if I have the chance, I would like to share the details of the stipend, as a lot of bus drivers are present tonight.
Please do, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the board for unanimously approve this stipend resolution. As per the resolution, all the bus drivers who attend the first day of the start of the school year will receive a $1,000 stipend. On top of that, for perfect attendance, they will receive a total of $2,500 stipend. So $1,250 for the first half and $1,250 for the other half. Right now, as per the collective bargaining unit that we have, the perfect attendance stipend is only $125 and $125, which I believe is insufficient as an incentive to motivate perfect attendance. So I have recommended to make it 10 times more to $1,250 and $1,250. Now, it means that a bus driver can earn up to $3,500 in stipend for the whole school year on top of their regular compensation. Ms. Lee have asked me before in email, how are we going to fund that? And as I mentioned in my...
Seems important.
yeah, very important, very important. We are always trying to look for innovative ways to do budget optimization so that we can focus more on building our internal capacities. Now, we have a budget of 140 bus drivers, which the board approved. However, in our analysis, we have found that we do not need 140 bus drivers. Actually, right now, we have approximately 105 bus drivers. We were not able to fill all the vacancies there. So I have recommended to cut down the total allocation to 120, because as per our routing analysis, we should be good with 120. Now, in other times, we would save that money for the 20 bus drivers and put it on our cash reserve. But as I said, our focus is to build our own internal capacity. So we are giving the money back to our existing driver, and we are trying to motivate their attendance and retention. So that is the strategy. So we will be within our budget, but we will be empowering our own bus drivers.
Thank you.
I have one question. I have one question.
Sure.
Do you have an application for a bus driver?
It is a great time to be a bus driver or a paraprofessional.
You would want me.
You got to be a parent, though.
He's got to pass the eye exam.
Thank you. Thank you. It is recommended that the school board trustees approve action item 9.09, approve first reading of policies 0144, 5111, 5112, and 5517.01. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion?
I have a motion?
Yes, motion?
Okay, second?
All right, second.
Second? Okay,
Second.
okay. Okay, it's been motioned by Mr. Costello, second by Dr. Green. Are there any questions? Mr. Superintendent E, can you please explain to the listening public what those policies are right quick, please?
Okay. I have them up, so I can step in to do that
Thank you.
if that's okay with
That's okay with
Dr.
me.
McCullough.
Thank you.
So the first one is dealing with compensation. State law was amended effective for July 1, allowing the compensation for the board members to be up to 10% of the lowest paid school teachers. So you want to jump in?
Yeah, right now it's, the compensation was 2,000. The compensation will be 4,600 as of today. But as negotiations start and the base first-year teacher salary goes up, the board will be compensated 10% of that.
Thank you.
So the options or the change of the compensation policy gives, in the red line version, gives you the options of how you want to lay that out. You can set the policy at a specific number, which is less than 10%. You can set it at the 10%, or you can set it in some other way. So you have options. You don't have to make that decision tonight, but before our final adoption after the third reading, we should know. If you want to change the compensation faster than that, it would take 5 votes to suspend the policy and adopt this without going through the 3 readings. But that's the first one. Okay, let's go to the second one. Okay, the second policy deals with legal settlement, and there were some tweaks that were suggested by the Indiana State or Indiana School Board Association. And also earlier, I would say later last year, Dr. Jenner had issued a memorandum clarifying factors to consider for determining legal settlement. And so the items 1 through 12 are, we had a couple of these already in our list, but we added additional ones that were suggested by Dr. Jenner. And then there was a change up in the language for transfer students, which is very similar to what we had, but with a few tweaks on that. And so that basically deals with that policy. And then there was again a clarification on entrance requirements for kindergarten, that if they can enter if they're 5 by October 1. That's another clarification from Dr. Jenner. So that's the only change in policy 5112. And the final is some tweaks to the bullying policy. We already had a very robust anti-bullying policy in place. Indiana School Board Association had suggested some tweaks to make it read, I think, in a little more clear way. both the old policy and the suggested change make it clear that there's no tolerance for bullying. I think the tweaks that were made by the new policy deal with at what point do you involve parents of the child that's doing the bullying, and I think it allows really for sometimes you have to address the bullying without exposing the victim. So I think that I would say summarizes really the tweaks that are in the policy for this bullying policy, anti-bullying policy, I should say. So these are nothing really significant except that, and that's it from my end, unless you have any questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Comment on the compensation. I do, we put a lot of hours in here, and I think that the 10% is a good compensation. I also would push for us to have the caps, go to our max caps for regular school board meetings and per diem, which is set at 150 for regular meetings and 75 for special meetings. I would push for that as well, if the board doesn't object to that. Because right now, we're at the max, if we can push for max caps.
Well, I don't vote on it, so.
And I would just, again, back to like the budget, like understanding where that impacts the corporation budget and where that falls, and not even sure where that is, so that'd be we
Appreciate
can
it.
talk about that later, because this is just first
Yeah, we
reading.
can talk about it later.
Yeah.
Because I'm with Carlos. Any other questions or concerns? If not, we're going to go to the vote. Any other questions, concerns? Mr. Hernandez, can you please call the roll?
I don't know that we need a vote at this point.
Oh, we don't need a vote?
No, I think you're going to need a vote once at the third reading. So
we don't have to approve the first reading?
if you want to have a vote to approve just the reading, you can do that, but I think that's
So
perfunctory.
we can put this on hold and for further discussion is what you're saying?
We'll need to vote after the third reading,
Okay.
yeah.
Then we'll just let 9.08 go. So we'll move on to closed items from our closed session, 10.01. It is recommended the South Bend School Board of Trustees approve the confidential settlement agreement and general release discussion in closed session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second by Dr. Green, motion by Ms. Lee. Are there any questions?
Because I thought there were a couple things in executive session that we might have, that we were gonna.
This is the only one I have. Did you have something else that you wanted to bring forward?
That we agreed on.
I'm sorry, you what?
I think this is the only one we agreed on.
Oh, okay. This is the Enrich U or the?
For the discussion. Yeah. This is the only one I have.
I think there were two items that were discussed that could come up. The first one, I think everyone did agree to bring up, and that deals with the resolution of a lawsuit, an existing lawsuit, which is what you're referring to now.
I just read?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are there any discussions on this item? Ms. Hernandez, can you please call for the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
Aye.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leba?
Aye.
Mr. Snedeky?
Aye.
Dr. McCullough?
Aye. Item 10.01 passes unanimously. Were there any other discussions that we needed to have? I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think we need to, bring forward and vote on the newer lawsuit, the one that's, recently pending involved. We also discussed, as Mr. Agostino said, the second item that would resolve it through the MOU and the other kind of.
So you're saying that we need to vote again on the MOU, Enrich U MOU?
Well, it's part of resolving the pending lawsuit, yes.
You don't have to, is if you want to. You can if you want to, or you don't have to. Or you could, it's the discretion of the board. You can consider it and vote on it now, or you can table it and bring it up later. You have options.
Since I think we agreed there would be no immediate action from Enrich U in terms of instruction.
But I do know, I mean, if we don't vote on it or settle it now, the legal fees will continue to run and accrue. So I thought, we would address it and vote on it.
There won't be no legal fees when
I'm sorry,
we're not doing
Mr.
nothing.
Arcasino, can you address that? Because it seems to me like this needs further discussion.
Yeah.
Well, it could have further discussion. I would say the point for the argument for acting on it right now, and I don't know if there's enough votes for it or not, but if you act, the reason for acting on it now would be more in terms of if you were going to approve the MOU, the sooner you do it, the better, so that staffing could occur, planning could occur, and those things could come into place.
I don't know why we have to keep voting on this MOU.
The reasons for not voting on it right now is if you need further clarity, further discussion, more feedback on it. I'm not going to tell you that this is something that you have to vote on today. It's not an emergency. We're not in, we have threatened litigation. We do not have an actual lawsuit to respond to. So I don't think that there's going to be, in the interim, in the short term, any significant legal fees connected to this. If it goes into an actual lawsuit, there certainly would be, but we're not at that stage. So again, the reasons to consider it now is more of facilitating and speeding up activities that would need to be implemented under the MOU to carry it forward. On the other hand, if there's a desire to take your time and consider things more and or tweak things, then you have an option to do that as well.
So what is the pleasure of the board? Do you want to vote on this MOU, Enrich U MOU that we voted against several times, or do you want to table it to discuss it later, or what do you want to do? We need to just move on. What do you want to do?
I mean, I think we should vote on it because I don't know that anything's going to change if we further will, but, rather, since we've got a notice of the claim, rather than wait for it to turn into a formal lawsuit, I don't, again, that would just cost us more money on our end, at least in terms of defending it and that kind of thing, and just because of the merits of the different claims that they've had in addition to the access, but the other things that they're pleading about, I think, would make sense to just vote to resolve it now so we can.
Well, lawsuits can come at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to act on something without really all the information, I think, would not be wise at this time. And I keep saying that. At some point in time, I might be in favorable agreement with this, and I voted against it several times. But I think we have to wait, and I think you know why we have to wait, because I've stated it several times privately, for this to materialize and see what we have. And the board can do what they want with it, but I think it has a greater chance of maybe passing if we wait on it than we continue to vote on it and turn it down. So,
but I guess I need some clarity. I think we do need more discussion, but I think the point of clarity is that I don't know that we're voting on the MOU as much as the relief that council has said voting on the MOU will bring about. So for now, it seems to me it's the relief we'd be voting for, to say if we accept the proposal that this program enter our schools, the litigation goes away.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and I think that's what we need to vote on, and that's what we should do tonight.
Okay, so do we have a motion to continue? A motion?
A motion to, yeah, I would motion that we vote.
Is there a second?
Okay, second.
Ms. Hernandez, can you call the roll?
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
No.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leba?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
No.
Dr. McCullough?
No. The vote passes, let me see, 1, Green, 2, let me see, 4 to 4 yeses, 1 and 2 noes.
3 noes.
I'm sorry, 3 noes. 4 yeses and 3 noes.
So I need a point of order here, because I think the motion that was made was a motion to vote. That's what the chair called for.
The motion to what now?
You asked for is there a motion to vote?
A motion to vote, right.
Okay,
A
so
motion. This is the motion to vote for this particular item.
I think there's now a need to, if you want to proceed, to actually vote on approving the settlement agreement or not. I mean, I think to clarify the record, there should be a motion to approve the settlement agreement.
Okay, that's where we
All right.
headed.
I motion to approve the settlement agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
Green. Okay. Now we move to voting to approve this settlement agreement. Any questions on this motion?
Yes, is that, you're saying that it's
We
bringing them
voted-
back in?
No, we voted, the first vote we
Yeah, I know
took-
that.
Okay, so now, this is
Now
the
what
one
we're voting,
to bring them back in.
to
right.
bring,
The settlement agreement. If we vote to approve the settlement agreement, that means that, yes, they will be in our schools.
Richmond would come back?
Uh-huh, in our schools. That's what this vote is for.
I thought we all agreed to that we're doing
This is a
our own
You have to listen.
after-school classes.
This is. Yes, sir. Okay, so, Mrs. Hernandez, please call the roll.
Mr. Ellison?
Aye.
Mr. Costello?
No.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Dr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Leba?
Aye.
Mr. Snedecki?
No.
Dr. McCullough?
No. The vote passes 4 to 3. We now move to board communications. Do anybody wish to speak?
Yes. I want to thank everybody who came out here to support all the bus drivers, and transportation is really important, and a lot of it's a systematic problems that we need to fix, and I hope we continue to do that. And I appreciate everyone who came out and support for their leadership, and I hope going forward that we would continue to provide leadership in that role. That's a very important role. So I heard nothing but good things from Ms. King, and wish her well, and hope things go well going forward. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Mr. Costello?
I want to thank all the bus drivers tonight who came in here and gave of your time and effort in behalf of your boss. I appreciated those comments. I want to share just one comment that I had to confirm it with her tonight before probably making this comment to you, but I was told by some bus drivers that on the day of the ice storm, which some people came in here and no big deal. It was a very dangerous situation outside, and I was told by the bus drivers they went to their boss and asked not to have school. She called. Doctor, you know who? And he said, we're going to have school. It took a lot of courage for her to do that. And the fact is, I have made the statement to other people that very few employees in this school corporation I ever heard words to standing up for what they thought was right. And that person did that on that day. And I just wanted you people to know that just as one board member here, I really appreciated what she did. So thank you.
And there are
God bless
comments.
everybody and have a great evening.
Mr. Snydecke.
Earlier, I passed out a flyer. The only reason I did that is to try to be transparent and prove what Mrs. Jones said, the exact words about breaking the law. And that's been done the last 8 years. And this is an example. And these people that's on this list, I worked for the city for 22 years, and I know some of these people, and they're respectable people. But number one, we can't afford these payouts. We have to, the CFO has to know where this stuff is going. We have to know where this money's, what it's doing, and there's no explanation. Only one person passed out the check, had no authority to pass out these checks, and you got checks for $99,000, $107,000, $98,000. You know, that's taxpayers' money, and that's money that's supposed to be going to our kids. It's no explanation. It was given to these people or their churches, and no explanation what's being done with it. You know, it might be going in the church basket every Sunday or something. I have no idea. We have to know, and this money is supposed to be go out to the kids, and we need and all this stuff and a lot more is being audited by the state, and they're going to have to explain. And the biggest one to explain is our CFO that wrote the check. No explanation. Just put community partner, $99,000, and signed her name. That's not acceptable in this world in a government organization when you have to using taxpayers' dollars. So I'm just trying to be transparent here and let you guys know what we're dealing with over here. So.
Seeing there are no other comments, our next school board meeting will be August the 4th here at the Brown Administration Building. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.